Welcome to the City of Five Nations podcast. We are City of Five Nations podcast. I'm Daniel Shaughnessy, and my guest today is Damien Phillips. Damien grew up in our Dunbar community. He and his wife own a cleaning business in the Dallas, Texas area, and Damien is a music producer and promoter. And
Yes,
my friend, Damien, welcome. How are you this glorious day?
and I'm doing good, trying to stay warm. How about yourself?
Doing well. It's cold down there. We had that cold come through here a couple of days ago.
Yeah, we woke up into a little rain this morning and it's a little chilly outside, but we're trying to stay in this house and stay safe, stay warm.
Well, that's good. I saw that picture of you and your wife working hard last week. I remember the first time I talked to you, though, Damien. It was after the gruesome beating of fellow resident Sean Carolina. You were trying to help Sean's family. If you would, tell us about you and Sean. Maybe share with us something about you guys or your families that most who met you never would know.
Yeah. Well, me and Sean, we was very close. We grew up together. My mom and his dad is like first cousins. And me and Sean used to play the Nintendo together all the time, and his dad would have me come over and we would hang out and stuff like that. And that's just how we grew up, just young, knowing each other, and kind of grew up together.
Well, he has such a gentle spirit. I found in my few conversations with Sean and his lovely wife.
Hmm.
And tell us about that moment. The moment that you heard about the tragedy or the first time you saw the video of it taking place. Is that like a photographic moment for you? And tell us that moment.
That was probably a hard moment for me. Just growing up with somebody that I know that I love and been knowing since I was a child, and see that happen to him. I broke down. I really did. My wife, she had to come in here and rub on my shoulder and tell me it was gonna be okay. But that's my first cousin. He's my older cousin. He only got a year on me or whatever. But it was just hard for me though. It really was, and I really wanted to do something after I seen that. And it wasn't nothing like violent or nothing. I just wanted to do something to help him because I knew he deserved that, and he deserved all the help that anybody would give him.
Well, I remember the first time I saw it, and it was really repulsive to see something like that take place, and then to think that it actually took place right here in our
Yeah,
hometown. You just never. That's like something happened to family. You just never
yeah.
think it's going to happen within your family,
And
and
then it happens.
yeah, and it's just right in front of us, and we have to deal with it. And over time now, with the opportunity of the passage of time and how the events have unfolded over the last year, has your perspective changed at all from that very first moment? And what do you see now about that event?
Um, to me, it's something that on this side of the tracks that we've been living with forever. Maybe it's not put out there out loud anymore like it used to be back in the day, but it's done silently, and it's still done to this day. And it's just like that in that area for some reason. It's just like people are just stuck in an old time period. I called it like, kind of like somebody rocking a mullet or a jerry curl. It's just out of style. It's
Well,
time to switch up.
Well, yeah, and you're kind of describing something I really wanted to talk to you about, Damien, because we live so close to one another, but so often we don't even really understand the lives of somebody who lives just 1 mile from us. And in the
Yeah.
City of Five Nations, there's really distinct districts. We're a community of about 30,000, pretty much like so many communities across the world. And
Hmm.
in the City of Five Nations, we believe, or here at the City of Five Nations, we believe that communities filled with individuals foreign to one another, like we are, coming together to create truer and deeper understanding of each other is going to drive
Hmm.
the entire world to a more positive human experience. So,
Yes.
with that in mind, Damien, in the past and today, what are some of the obstacles that present themselves more prevalently in Dunbar that those growing up in other parts of our community might not even know exist, which individuals growing up in Dunbar environment must
Yeah.
overcome
Yeah.
more so than elsewhere?
Yeah. I just think it's all about opportunity. I just never had a lot of opportunity. Never had anybody really kind of direct me in a direction that I should go to do something positive or something. I mean, I grew up in a neighborhood where, it was just drugs everywhere. People smoking. You really never just seen anybody that you could look at and be like, that's I want to be like that person. It was only really one, and that was my grandma at that point in time. And thank God that I had her because she was the one that she hosted campfires for little kids back in the day when they had the community center back down on Dunbar and before they tore it down. But she always did all kinds of events for us, and it kind of kept me out of trouble. And really, that's why I do the things that I do today is because she instilled that off into me. And so a lot of kids, unfortunately, don't have that in their life. Some people, you got bad people in your life. That's even your parents and stuff. And so that'll make it even harder for you. Um, I mean, there's nothing down there on Dunbar. There's nothing, that it looks like kids stay down there. They don't really have any parks. The parks are old. They don't have any, just nothing that they can do. So, I mean, kids is out here, doing drugs, doing everything else because they're bored. They don't have anything to do but that and what they've been seeing all their lives, and it's kind of hard to, blame somebody for something when that's all they've known, unless you've seen something outside of that, then you would never know.
Well, and first of all, I want to give a shout out to your grandmother. Because many of us don't know your grandmother, but when we hear
Yeah.
her name, we will.
Yes, Willie Mae Phillips. Willie Mae.
Oh,
Yes.
Willie Mae.
Oh, the old school name. She mean business, but she taught me a lot.
Well,
She
it is
did.
so, you touch on such a wonderful point in the sense of the environment, even though it's a mile away, 2 miles away from where I live, is just so much different.
Yeah.
When I walk out my front door, and then again, you met Sarah down there as well, who had a great
Yeah.
impact, right?
Yeah, she had a great impact on me, just alone. Growing up in Oklahoma and the area that I was, Dunbar, and then coming to Texas. And when I come here, I see a diversity of people. You know, you can't go anywhere you go, it doesn't matter where you go, it's going to be a diversity of people off in that room, from Indians to Mexicans to black to white. So it's just like it's comfortable when you walk in there. I could go to a restaurant in Shawnee or something like that, and sometimes when I walk in, I feel uncomfortable. I feel like I don't belong there or something, or people don't want me there. But you can just feel the difference from the transition. Like it's just, but I love it though. I really do. I love it.
When you say
It's
you love it, you love the city of Five Nations where you grew up.
I love the city of Five Nations where I grew up because that's where I'm from. That's never gonna die. That's what made me who I am today. Resilient. Tough. Get out here. I'm built for this. And I got that from back home. But it's just things that I would like to see changed on certain things that I think we can work on.
Well, and you touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to ask you because I believe that our environments prepare us in different ways for different things. And
Hmm.
you're successful in business, you and Sarah now, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But growing up in Dunbar, like I say, just a few miles away from my front door, definitely a huge part of my community. How did your environment actually equip you and strengthen you, maybe a little bit differently than other places did, to be able to be a success like you are?
I think I'm good with handling disappointment. Not being scared to fail because, I was in a place where I was supposed to fail and I didn't, in an area that I wasn't supposed to make it. I was supposed to be in jail, locked up or something like that. But with the grace of God and my grandma and having good people in my life and just trying to keep them good people in my life. And even from some bad people that I see, I try to take the good out of what I can learn from them and leave the bad alone.
Willa Mae.
Yeah, that's that woman right there, man. She done raised so many kids that it's a blessing. I'm glad that I have her in my life.
Oh, yeah. You're watching and listening to We Are City of Five Nation podcast, and we continue today our series 30 Days of Community Building. If you have questions for us or our guest, Damien Phillips, who grew up right here in the City of Five Nations and currently owns and operates a cleaning business in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, type them out. We'll respond if we can. Damien, tell us about your business now in Dallas. How has COVID-19 helped or hurt the cleaning business?
Well, I mean, it's kind of half and half right now. When it first came out, people were just scared and they're just like, hey, stay away from me, this and but to be honest, we are the people that you want around right now because we're keeping your house clean, we're keeping that out of there. And a lot of times, we tell clients, if you're scared of something like that, then you don't even have to be at home when we come to clean your house, or you can stay locked in a room or whatever. We don't have to shake hands and hug just because we're here to clean. But it's really just being good. I mean, now people are starting to notice that's what they need. They need a clean environment. And now that we're getting certified to actually have some Ozark machines, and those machines will set them up for about an hour wherever we are in your house or wherever you want it at, and it put out this mist that will disinfect anything. you know,
Yeah.
they use this stuff for Ebola and all kinds of stuff. It kills it, and then we'll come in and clean that area right after that. We'll clean it down. Make it smell good, mop your floors, hit your ceiling fans, everything else. So I mean, it's been good though. People are really starting to notice that's what it is, and the government even said that we can be out roaming and cleaning and doing our job. So I'm just glad we able to work.
Yes, and that's a benefit of being self-employed. How? Tell us how you started your business. You and Sarah, I know, are very involved within it, and where you see the business going. Some of your
Okay.
company goals.
Well, she had the business going before I got here. We've been friends for 10 years, but she started this business. She used to live in Shawnee, and then she came back home to Texas where she was from, and her grandma owns a cleaning business. She ran it for like 30 years. So that's kind of where Sarah gets it from. And so she was able to apply all the knowledge that she learned from her grandma to apply to her business. So she had it kind of running and going and successful before I got here. I was just able to come in because I went to school for business management and marketing. So I was able to help her in those areas as far as, applications and, making sure she got all her paperwork and stuff like that. And also in the field helping her and getting jobs done and things like that. And then where I see the business going, I think our business, I mean, for right now where we're at, we're doing incredible. It's been a blessing. Like we couldn't have picked a better business right now. So I know that things is going to flourish and we're going to do even better. We got business in Texas and Oklahoma. We got a couple houses down there that we clean. But most of our work is off in the DFW, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Euless area, and we clean businesses like the Belk store, uh, tons of people's homes. We have 5 teams of workers, and pretty much we just give them their schedule. They go to work, you know, and we get it done.
You do get it done. Like I said, I love the Instagram picture that I saw recently. It was Sarah in the tub doing some
Yeah.
scrubbing, and you were up in the closet doing some
Yeah,
fixing.
yeah, and that's how we do, and we are so friendly. Like we so friendly. We love to clean, and I I love seeing people's faces after we clean their house. They just walk in, and you can tell they feel good. It smells good, and that's what we get out of it. That's our passion. If it wasn't for Willie Mae, once again, like I said, I grew up with all women. My father wasn't in my life, and I grew up with all women, so I didn't learn how to fix a car, or something like that. They had me cooking eggs, cleaning. You know, so it's kind of, if it wasn't for Willie Mae, I wouldn't be as good as I am right now, what I'm doing. Plus with Sarah on me as well.
I, I love it. Well, I
Yeah.
know you know it, but I began my own business at 28 with a wife, 3 kids, my mother in the house.
Yeah.
It was not, and it continues not to be an easy task. It'll be 27 years of highs, lows, and fun on the ride. On May
Yeah.
1st, we opened
Yeah.
on May 1st up at the Kalachi Festival.
Wow, that is crazy. And you made it work
1993.
though.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
made it work.
yeah.
And see, we have 8 kids all together. She has 4, I have 4, so we're like a Grady bunch. But our right now, we've been having the kids go to work with us and stuff like that since they've been out of school, trying to keep them busy. And plus, we can. It's better to. I feel better paying our kids than maybe an employee or something like that.
Yeah.
Plus some of the younger kids we can give them like $3 an hour, but we're not going to tell anybody.
Well,
you
talk
know.
about that. Talk about being self-employed. Would you recommend it to the young people of today? Yes, no.
Uh,
Elaborate on that.
Yeah, most definitely. If anybody out there can be self-employed, please do that. If you have any idea or any passion that you have, most definitely try to be successful off of that. I was out here working, and I worked for George Fisher and Shawnee. I'm pretty sure you heard of them.
Oh yeah.
And I was there for 7 years. Dedicated my life and everything out there, and it just didn't work out.
Mhm.
And so it was like after that, I was just kind of fed up and I just wanted to do something on my own. I figured if I can go work 12 hours for somebody, then why not? I can't do that for myself, wake up, go do 12 hours for myself and uh, cherish all the benefits that come from that. Uh, from being able to set my own schedule to being able to take care of our family and help other people with the employees that we have as well.
Yeah, and you touch on that. That was the same story as mine. For about 8 years, I was in management in retail, and
Mhm.
one thing about owning your own business, and echo in on this if you would, Damien, is it's not
Mhm.
easy, and
Oh
it's
no,
not
no.
it's not something that you can wake up and not do. So having that
Hmm.
discipline, like you were talking about, of of an hourly job or a salaried job at a place like George Fisher, to be able to get that foundation of what it takes to actually work and work every day, no matter the
Hmm.
circumstances. That's not an easy thing. That's one of those things you have to overcome
No.
as somebody self-employed, don't you?
Yeah, most definitely. Because a lot of people will wake up and see it raining and be like, "Okay, I'm not going to work today," or it's snow outside, so no, I'm not going to go to work. But no, when you own your own business, you have to go to work, no matter what. Sick, what in our business we don't go sick, but I'm just saying, sometimes you have to do that. When I was working at the other job, I would still have to go in sick. It don't
Mhm.
matter if my ankle was sprung or anything, you would still have to walk on that ankle and go to work.
Mhm.
And I think that's just all about surviving. That's how you have to survive this day. If we was out in the jungle, you would have to hunt for yourself and fend for yourself. And this is kind of like our jungle, this concrete jungle.
Yeah. You're right on, man. And Damien, I know because I've been around you. Young people look up to you. They believe you can help them overcome and be a success, particularly in the music industry. Tell me,
Yes,
why
yes.
is that? Why is that?
Well, it was in a period where really rap is not known down there. People kind of look at hip hop and just kind of shy away from it. I know we're in the Bible Belt, and we had artists like Garth Brooks and all that type of stuff. So people are accustomed to a certain sound. But at that point in time, it was just like I was the only one doing music at that point in time, and we've had plenty of artists back in the day, from my cousin A7, Jeffrey McLean. He was one of the trenders of it. He was one of the ones that made me want to start rapping, and it kind of just trickles down. And then it was my time. Somebody else needed to step up when he was done rapping, and they needed a face. And at that point in time, I was that face, and I was out doing music, and making videos. So people see me around the neighborhood and they see me shooting videos and they looking at me like, what is he doing? And we had police even pull up on me several times when I was shooting a video, just trying to figure out what is he doing out here? Like, why is he dancing and singing? And and then I've done stuff at schools too. And a lot of these kids, when I did the stuff at schools, they were young at that point in time. They were little kids, and so they kind of grew up with me. In that hometown, they just grew up with me. They knew that I did music, and now you have a lot of kids that don't want to play football. They don't want to play basketball. They want to do music. And a lot of them want to do music because they see me doing music, and you'll be surprised how many people hit me up in my inbox asking me about music from back home. Hey, how do I find a studio? Or hey, how do I do this and that? And I'm like, it's a struggle because now that I'm not back home, they don't have a studio to go to anymore. So now they're trying to find it, but I just love the passion. Like, it's so many artists down there and they're so talented that if people would just look in that direction, we could have somebody big come out of there.
Well, I believe that as well. And we can work together more in that realm, Damien, and we can help each other, I'm sure. And I'd love to meet some of those kids. I'd love to have kids around that, are really striving to be successful, because I think that's what it's going to take within our community, is everybody helping each other with the talents that we have in order to create something very, very special within the community. So I want to ask you, what makes an artist good? How does one judge musical talent?
I mean, the way I judge it is just off of if there's a good message with it. I judge it off the beat, and it's all about the I guess the moment. Like, when certain people like to listen to music, when you go to the club, you don't want to hear no real music at that point in time. You want to hear some party music, at that point in time. You need a club banger. And then, like, most of the time when people are at home or something, they kind of listen to a little bit of real stuff. And so it's really like, to me, I make all different types of music. I don't really just put myself in one category. So to me, all music is good. It just depends on, how you put it, the wordplay on it and your message.
Well, your business now thriving in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and you have a heart as big as the state of Texas, I've noticed.
Yes, sir.
What are your plans for the future, and do those plans include anything here in the city of Five Nations?
Oh, most definitely. Like I said, I never forget about home, and that's why I came back home to do that for my cousin Sean Carolina, to have that block party. But now that didn't trickled and set off something else that I want to come back and do it every year. And my plan is I'm trying to get this record label going. I'm really trying to get that going. I've been getting everything done as far as getting the name copyrighted, getting my studio equipment, all that type of stuff, because I really want to help the kids back home that are trying to be artists. To me, that is my goal, is to help them back home, because I want to try to get one of them out there and have everything that they need, especially for the kids back home. Just kind of get them a pedestal to something that they can do, that they can get out there and shine, just like on that football game, or, they've been practicing all month long, and, now it's time to let people see it. And I kind of just want to give them that platform to where people can see it and really see that we have talent in Shawnee, and in Oklahoma, period. That we do have some talent, and it's time that we, start supporting our own artists instead of all these other artists that you'll never meet in person. You'll never see this person. I would rather support somebody that I know, that I see, and then they blow up, and and then I could be there to see that. Yes.
Well, man, likeness of heart right there. I'm telling you, we need to get something together and do something great. That would be fun.
But
Well,
But I still haven't gave up on this music. I'm still doing stuff. I just finished my mixtape coming out the house and got that done, and the money tree. So I'm still making music. For them cats to think I'm old or something and it's time to give up, I'm not done yet. I'm just getting started, like I say. But and to the young cats, don't think that you could just make it off of rapping. You have to have a different type of hustle, either a job, something. You have to multitask. That's the thing young cats don't know about this music. It's 90% hustle and grind, and it's only 10% talent. If you don't have the hustle or the grind, you're not willing to work, you're not willing to, do that extra effort and stuff like that, then it's not going to work out. A lot of people see Michael Jordan as one of the greatest basketball players ever, and they just see all the highlights. They see all the good things that he did, but they never see all the work that it took to become that person, to become that person with the tongue out his mouth, you know, winning multiple championships and stuff like that. So realize that. Look at his work. Look at the grind that it took for him to get there, and put that in yourself.
good words. And so often, you think that, well, I'm going to work, and you just are working music, but you touched on something. You have to have a side hustle, something that's
Hmm.
going to produce your livelihood while
Yeah,
you're doing your extra effort in what you want to
yeah,
become. If you don't have that livelihood producer, then
yeah,
most often you're going to fall down on some paths you don't want to be on in the world you're
yeah.
trying to get into. So definitely that side hustle is so important, Damien.
Yeah, a lot of people just think that you could just make it, and it's like me at that point in time. The only reason I started rapping because I was bored. I was in Shawnee, Oklahoma. I was used to playing basketball, being a star player. Went to college, played basketball. After that, I had kids, and I was just bored. I was like, I love to compete, and I started rapping. But you have to have a job because you have to have something to supply that, because a lot of people don't realize how much an artist spends on himself in order to get out there before he even starts making money. I've been burning CDs and doing shows, some shows that I even had to pay for to even be in, and it's just like you have to put a lot of money into yourself. And if you just, if it's a hobby or something like that, don't do it because you're going to waste more money and you're not going to be able to withstand, natural life and your home or whatever. But you got to have a passion for it. You got
Yeah.
to.
When you talk about George Fisher, I know you had a shift job and you were working your
Mhm.
tail off in order to be
Oh
able
yeah,
to make those
yeah.
things happen. So,
Yeah, and you can ask everybody at George Fisher. They used to see me. I had 4 rhyme books sitting on my table. And when I would load a part in the machine, I would go over and write something and I would write it down for 12 hours on the night shift. And on those 4 pads, I had 4 different songs I was working on. So when I ran out of words on this one, I go to the next one. Then that's all they seen all night.
I love it, man. Well, tomorrow we're going to have another special guest who's a songwriter. He's going to perform a couple of songs for us. Ben Williams. Some of you guys
Oh
in the
yeah.
city of Five
Yeah.
Nations know him as Pastor Ben Williams,
Yeah.
but um, he's
That's awesome.
he's not only a songwriter. He also walked 300 miles and spent 40 days in the Sierra Wilderness along the
Oh
trail, which
wow.
about 20 or 30 years ago, might even be longer, he helped
Mhm.
build the trail that he's going to talk about with us tomorrow.
That's amazing. That is amazing. That is so cool. You have to tell him hi for me after
I
that. That's a
will.
survivor.
I
Oh
will.
my goodness.
So we go from Damien Phillips, singer-songwriter and business
Yes.
owner, to Pastor Ben, singer-songwriter and hiker.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, I'm gonna most definitely, if he coming on doing some songs, I'm gonna have to do something the next time.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much, Damien, for being with
Yeah.
us today.
Oh, you
And
already know.
yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at about 10 a.m. with Ben on our worldwide community building audience. With that in mind, folks, thanks for watching and listening. Always remember, in the City of Five Nations, we're building community together, one season at a time. Good night, everybody.